Hello everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. So this is a comment from Joanie84H85 and this person is saying, now that I am 65 and I want to have my vitamin D levels checked, I was told that Medicare does not pay for it and it's $200 out of pocket unless the doctor can come up with a reason vitamin D is causing issue with my health. So basically, unless the doctor specifically says that this person has some underlying issue and I need to test his or her vitamin D, the insurance is not paying for it. Such crooks, man. So the problem here is, and I have seen a lot of people, especially here in United States, because we have privatized healthcare in this country, they mentioned that vitamin D test is very expensive, and unless the doctor specifically writes for vitamin D test, the insurance doesn't cover it, so they cannot get their vitamin D tested. And so for all these folks, I have something which I would like to share with you guys. You don't need your doctor's permission to get vitamin D tested. So if your doctor is refusing to write you a vitamin D, you can always fire your doctor if you are on a PPO plan and find some other doctor who is willing to work with you. But in case you don't have that option and there is no way you can have your insurance pay for vitamin D, then you can directly approach the labs who conduct the vitamin D test. And the one that I will recommend is Quest Diagnostics. Now, Quest Diagnostic is one of the largest blood testing facility here in United States, and they are one of the big ones, right? This is not some small mom and pop blood testing service. You don't want to work with those, because I know there are a lot of online blood testing services where they will send you a kit and you mail your sample to them and then they will give you the result. But I'm not very confident about the quality of their service, right? You don't want to fall a victim for something like a Theranos. Remember that Elizabeth Holmes? You don't want to fall for that kind of shady blood testing service. So Quest Diagnostic is one of the big ones and you can trust them. And they actually have this facility, they call it vitamin D test. And for $69, you can order a vitamin D test. You don't need a doctor's permission. You don't need any authorization from your insurance company. So they are charging $69 plus $6 physician's service fee. So it will cost you $75. Now I understand this is not cheap, but it's definitely less than what this person is saying here, that it's $200 out of pocket. So don't go through your insurance if your insurance is, if your doctor is not willing to work with you. What I will recommend is that first you try to convince your doctor, and if your doctor is being a douchebag, then maybe find a new doctor in your network, right? That's always an option. Worst comes to worst and you cannot find any doctor who's willing to work with you and you cannot have your insurance pay for it, or maybe you don't have an insurance, right? Because not everybody here in United States has insurance. So if you fall in one of those categories, you can directly go to Quest Diagnostic, and I will drop a link of this service in the video description below so you can check it out. And I'm not affiliated with Quest Diagnostic. I'm just sharing this because I have seen so many comments on my videos where people say that I want to get my vitamin D level tested, but my doctor is refusing to give me the test, or my insurance is not covering. So, and then people say it is costing me $300, $400, ridiculous price. And this is because these insurance companies, they inflate the price. So out of pocket, you will see some ridiculous number. So forget about insurance. Don't even bother, working with them. Directly go to Quest Diagnostic. I will put this link in the video description below and order for vitamin D test. Now the good thing about this is that this is not like a mail-in kit or anything. You will actually go to the nearest Quest Diagnostic. So like for example, you can click here, find a patient service center. So you click here, enter your zip code, and they have over 2000 plus Quest Diagnostic service all across the country. So like where I live, there are a couple of them which are like very close, 5 minutes drive from my home. Just find one which is closest to your home, go there. It's a professional service, right? Get your blood drawn from a professional, someone who actually knows what they are doing, and then you will get the result in 1 week. And the best part is when you sign up for this, you can create an account on their portal. So I have mine open here and I have a whole bunch of other tests that I did, but I will show you my vitamin D test. So this was the last one that I had. Let me make it bigger so you guys can see. And mine was 66 nanograms per milliliter. Now the good thing about Quest Diagnostic is they will keep a record of all your tests that you have done in the past and whatever you plan to do in the future. So they will all show up here over the time. So you can see my levels, right? At one point I was 16. It's showing it in red because I was severely deficient in 2018. And then after that I started, then I was 28. So I was trying various dosage of vitamin D. Now from 28, I was able to pull it up to 47. But then somebody told me that I was taking too many vitamin D supplements and it's not safe. It's toxic, and so I dropped my dosage. I started taking 2000 IUs every day, and that actually resulted in a drop in my vitamin D levels. So around that time, I changed my doctor, and my new doctor not only found out that I had an underlying condition which was causing my vitamin D levels to sink. I had an autoimmune condition. I mean, that's a different topic of discussion, so I don't want to talk about it here. But there was something which was messing with my hormones and my thyroid levels, and so my vitamin D was getting depleted. So I started taking 10,000 IUs of vitamin D every day, and since then my level is now around 67, 66. So it's holding steady now. So if you get your blood tested in Quest Diagnostic, you will have this nice chart and all your data from all the years, from 2018 all the way to 2023, and it will basically you can go all the way back. So this is really nice. They have a pretty good service. It will only cost you $75. So this is very reasonable. This is definitely the cheapest option that I have found, which is a reliable option. I did see some shady services online who were claiming that they will give you vitamin D diagnostic, but I am not very sure if they are reliable. So I will drop a link for Quest Diagnostic. This is the cheapest option, which is reliable option that I have found. Now regarding your vitamin D range, where you should be between 30 and 100, and I have talked about this in all my other videos, but I want to reiterate this if you are watching my video for the first time. You should aim for around 60-65 nanograms per milliliter of vitamin D serum level in your blood. That's the ideal range, between 30 and 100. Below 30 is not good, and some doctors are still using obsolete guidelines, and they will tell you that 30 is where you should be and don't go above 30. One of my older doctors actually gave me this information. That is not correct, and if you want to learn about that, I will link one of my videos that I made where I go in detail about these guidelines, the history of these guidelines, and why many of the recommendations that current doctors are still relying on, they are obsolete. So you can check out that video if you want to learn more about that. Try to be around somewhere around 60 or 65. That is the optimal range. So when your vitamin D level is around 60 or 65, that means you have enough vitamin D resources in your body for your immune system to mount a fight back against invading virus or bacteria in case you fall sick. And it will also help you with a whole bunch of diseases like cardiovascular diseases, autoimmune conditions, multiple sclerosis, thyroid conditions like Hashimoto's. So you get a lot of benefits if you have high vitamin D serum level in your blood. So if you are somewhere really low, then you need high dosage of vitamin D. Now, how much vitamin D you need? Look guys, I am not a doctor, so I can't really give you a recommendation on how much you need, because that is something only a doctor can tell you. Based on my personal experience, I will tell you that the recommended, the RDA, which is the recommended dietary allowance, that is ridiculously low. They say something like 400 IUs per day or 600 IUs per day. 400 or 600 IUs of vitamin D is not going to make any difference. You need higher dosage. Now, how much you need, I can't tell you because I am not a doctor, right? I am not qualified to give that information. So you should talk to your doctor, try to find out what's the right dosage for you. One size fits all, that does not work. How much vitamin D your body will absorb, that depends on whole bunch of conditions. So first of all, we naturally make vitamin D when our skin is exposed to UVB radiation. So when you go out in sun, the sun has UVB radiation. Assuming you live in an area where there is no pollution and you are able to get a lot of UVB radiation, then you will be able to synthesize vitamin D naturally. So that's how historically, we all have been making vitamin D. But the problem is that if you live above the equator, north of the equator, then the sunlight, the angle at which the sun hits these region, it unfortunately does not contain as many UVB radiation. So what ends up happening is, even if you spend a lot of time in sun, you are not able to synthesize adequate amount of vitamin D. So that's problem number one. Problem number two is that if you're somebody like me who is a dark skin colored person, then you will be making less vitamin D. You may be making as little as 10% vitamin D compared to a person who is, say, Caucasian or someone who has lighter skin color. So even if you spend the same amount of time as someone who is lighter skin color, you might make like 1/10 of the vitamin D. So your skin color makes a lot of difference. Also, your age makes a lot of difference. So when you are young, when you are in your 20s and 30s, you are able to synthesize more vitamin D. Your vitamin D synthesis is more optimal. So you don't need to spend a lot of time in sun. But as you get older, you need to spend a lot more time in sun. And that is a double-edged sword, because if you spend too much time in sun, then you can get skin cancer, right? The same UVB radiation which your skin uses to synthesize vitamin D, that same UVB radiation can cause skin cancer. And if you apply sunscreen, then it blocks UVB radiation. So guess what? If you apply a lot of sunscreen and if you spend a lot of time in sun, you're not synthesizing any vitamin D. So that's why spending time in sun is not a guarantee that you will get all the vitamin D that you want. That's why it's important for a lot of people to take vitamin D supplements. And like I said before, how much you need, that's a very complicated question. It depends on your skin color, it depends on your age, it depends on whether you have any underlying condition. Like I have an autoimmune condition which kind of depletes my vitamin D very quickly. So I need to take a lot of vitamin D to maintain a healthy level. So those things I can't really help you with that. You should talk to a doctor. But if your doctor is refusing to give you a vitamin D test, then you can directly approach the lab, pay $75 and get the result. And if you find out that your vitamin D serum level is low, then maybe you can go to your doctor. You can show them the result and you can tell them that, look, dumbass, my vitamin D level is low. You are not listening. And then, maybe your doctor will take you more seriously. And then you can discuss how much vitamin D supplement you would need. Now, from my personal experience, if your vitamin D level is below 30, if it's like 18 or 20 nanograms per milliliter, then to make any measurable dent, you need to take at least 5,000 IUs of vitamin D. Anything less than that, it's not even going to make a dent. And I'm telling this because if I go back to my results here, right, I was 16 actually. And my first doctor, after he found that I had low vitamin D serum level, he said, take 1,000 IUs of vitamin D. 1,000 IUs. That's all he said. He said, don't take more than 1,000. So see, so when I was taking 1,000 IUs, initially it did not make a dent. See, it was still below 30. So then I had to increase my dosage. Eventually, I started taking 5,000 and I was able to reach 47 nanogram per milliliter. But then I got some bad advice who told me that this is dangerous. You can get hypercalcemia, you can get kidney stones, you can run into all kinds of problems. So don't take that much vitamin D. So then I dropped my vitamin D supplementation to 2,000 IUs per day. And look what happened. It again fell back to 34. So I was barely above 30. So this was not good. And right around this time, I changed my doctor. And my new doctor said, because you have an underlying condition, you need a lot more vitamin D supplementation. Now, this may not apply to you, but I'm just sharing my personal story. I needed a lot more vitamin D supplementation. So I started taking 10,000 IUs every day. And since then, I have a steady, blood serum level of 65, 66, 67. So I'm holding that 65, 66, which is smack in the middle of where it should be. So if I go to the range here, this is the recommended range, should be between 30 and 100, ideally somewhere in the middle. So that's the dosage that worked for me. 5,000 is safe, guys. 5,000 IUs per day is not going to cause any problem. So you can take 5,000 IUs, maybe after 6 months, get another test and see where your numbers are. If your numbers have moved and now they are in around 60, 65 range, then that's good. Then you can keep taking that much, or maybe you can reduce a little bit if you feel like it's climbing up, right? So you will have to do that calibration. So this is some trial and error that you will have to do, because unfortunately there is no formula. You can't like plug in your age, your weight, your sex, and the formula will spit out how much supplementation you need. Doesn't work like that. We all are very different. Each of us are unique. So it's really difficult to say exactly how much vitamin D supplementation you would need. Ideally, your doctor should help you with this. But I know, based on the comments that I see on my video, I know that a lot of you folks, either your doctors are complete dumbasses or your doctors are refusing to work with you. So yeah, go to this Quest Diagnostic website, guys. $75. This is the cheapest option that I have found, and this is the most reliable option because Quest Diagnostic is one of the largest laboratories in this country. I would want to re-emphasize again, guys, I am not a doctor. I'm actually an engineer. My background is in engineering and mathematics, so I cannot give you medical advice. All I'm doing here is sharing my own personal experiences and whatever I have learned about vitamin D. If that is something that interests you, then you may want to check out my book. This is a book which I wrote this year, and in this book I have basically consolidated everything that I learned about vitamin D. I have had lots of problems with vitamin D. I showed you my results here, right? When my vitamin D level was low, I was feeling chronic fatigue. I was tired and exhausted all the time. I was feeling mental fogginess, and my low vitamin D was caused by a hormonal condition which had something to do with my thyroid. It's a long story, but basically what I learned was that vitamin D is not just for calcium absorption, and it's not just for your bone health. It affects whole bunch of things. And once I realized that, that's when I started taking supplements to increase my vitamin D level. So in my book I share a lot of things that I have learned about vitamin D. I learned how vitamin D affects your health, how it boosts your immune system, how it can help you if you have some kind of autoimmune disease. So I cover all these things in detail, and if you are interested, you can check out my book. It's linked in the video description below. And please share your experiences, your experiences with your doctors, or anything interesting that you think you would like to share with the community. We have built an interesting community here on this channel. A lot of people are leaving comments and other people are responding to their comments, and I really love this because it's kind of an open space where people can come and talk about their challenges and maybe help each other. So feel free to leave your comment, and any questions or suggestions you have, feel free to drop them in the comment section below. Next, I would encourage you guys to watch this video over here. This is a video on vitamin D and you are going to find it really useful. So go ahead and click this video over here, and I will see you guys over there. Bye.